To the right.
To the right. Okay. So you're literally like, okay, is that number now between 1 and 10? It's the same question. It's like, nope, got to keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I stopped there because the new number, is 2.03, and that is between 1 and 10. Do you see
Yes.
that? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how many times do we move it?
We moved it 9 times.
Yeah. Wow. You counted fast. Three.
Oh, I remember you saying it. That's why.
Okay. Okay. I don't even remember saying it. Um, but there's a difference here. So when you move the decimal left, when you move the decimal left, like we're doing here, it's positive exponent. But when you move it right, it
Hmm.
becomes a negative exponent. Okay. Now
Okay.
I don't really like remembering rules like that. I guess it's clear if you move the decimal left, it's positive. If you move it right, it's negative. I don't remember it this way, but you may find that this is a good way to remember it.
Okay.
Um, because it's very easy. Like let's just say this is a multiple choice test. Both answers would be there. 2.03 times 10 to the minus 9, 2.03 times 10 to the positive 9. And you'd have to know which one it is.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. Now where that really comes into play is with 21, where you have to use the fact that you're moving the decimal right or left based on the exponent. Okay, so this one is telling you this number right here means to move decimal 6 right.
Okay.
So you rewrite the number, and then you got to move it. And again, I like the analogy to kind of like the egg crate, egg cartons, where the little egg holders are, and then each time you move it, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you fill in those empty spaces with eggs with zeros.
Okay.
Okay, so now you rewrite the number. Okay, and you don't write the decimal point when it's a number like this. You show it, but you don't need to write it. But then you backtrack 3 to put a comma, backtrack another 3 and you put a comma, and that's for readability. That's
Yes.
so that someone can look at it really quickly and be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Because otherwise it's kind of difficult.
Okay.
So the big thing though is you got to know whether you're moving left or right or not.
Okay.
So we're doing 25 next.
Yes.
Okay. So 25 is a negative exponent. Which way are we moving the decimal with a negative exponent?
We're moving it to the left.
To the left, yeah. And it's awkward, but you rewrite the number. Rewrite there 0.0317. And I mean, I would even use different colored pencils, but that's 1. And then that's 2. That's where the new decimal goes. Then you fill it in with a 0. So it's 0.000317, like that.
Okay.
And then you probably should put a 0 in front. Are you taking biology, chemistry? What are you taking?
Biology.
Biology. Okay. You'll see this
Yes.
again in chemistry. This this uh
Okay.
this stuff here. So it'll it'll come back. Maybe you'll remember.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Okay. Uh, All right, so we're up to 29. Is that right?
Yes.
29
Correct.
here. Okay. I bet you have a good, I bet you're funny to your friends, but they think you're the funny guy. All right. All right. So which way are we moving the decimal, left or right?
To the right.
To the right. And where is the decimal?
At the end.
Yeah, to the right there. So you move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill in with zeros. And you can, I like to rewrite the number.
Okay. Yeah, she told us about that. Like we have to put the final answer as a no
Yeah.
little waves.
Yeah. The teacher doesn't want to read all this. I mean, they want
Yeah.
a nice, I would actually go further and maybe even make you say it orally out loud, or write it out. But that's not really math. That's language. Um,
Hmm.
but you'd be surprised how many people misread these numbers, and it it really makes a huge difference. Like this is 32,300,000. Um, if it's 32 billion, that's a very different number. Um, so these are the things that one of the reasons this stuff is brought up. Um, okay, I think that's it. We're up to 33. Is that right?
Correct.
33. Okay. Um, so this is why what is oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I messed up the last few. The 33 is what the 33 is what we, how do I say this? Um, why did I do that? I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to redo all the ones we just did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was doing them to write them in standard notation, and they're supposed to write them in scientific notation. So like
Oh,
33,
okay.
33 means to move this thing right 4 places. This is the answer to 33. Okay, so we are gonna have to go back. I apologize. But we'll
Okay.
we'll make this right here. Sometimes this happens. So this is more complicated. Um, okay, so we got to redo this. You can downvote the video later on. Guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So 23.65, this is not in scientific notation. And you might think, well, why not? It's got the number, it's got the 10 to the power. This number right
Mhm.
here has to be between 1 and 10, and it's not.
Yes.
Okay, so which way do you move the decimal to get it to be between 1 and 10?
You would move it to the left.
To the left.
So
Okay,
you get 2.3.
so it's 2.365 times 10 to what power? When you move it left, which way does it become a positive or negative exponent?
Positive.
Yes, very good. And then you bring this down, this 10 to the 6 down. Now, this is why you learned all
Okay.
those exponent rules, so that when you saw 10 to the 1 times 10 to the 6, you're supposed to say, oh, I know that one. When the bases are the same and you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So this becomes 10 to the power of 7.
Okay.
It won't take that long to correct this. And again, I do apologize.
No,
Should
that's
have
all right. I
attention.
understand.
Let me know when you get that down. We can move on to
Okay.
the next
I got it
ones.
done.
Okay, so 25. So kind of the same question here. It's like, well, is this number in front? Is it between 1 and 10?
No,
No. So which way do we move the decimal to make it between 1 and 10?
we move it to the right.
To the right. That way, that way. So it becomes 3.17. And then you're not focused on, don't worry about the 10 to the whatever up here. It's what do you got here? Like, is it -2 or +2? Basically,
It's minus.
it's -2. And then you bring this one down, 10 to the -2.
Hmm.
So now the bases are the same. What do you do to the exponents?
You would add them.
Yeah, you would add the exponents.
Hmm.
So there's your final answer.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to 29 and fix that one, and then we can move on to the next grouping.
Okay.
So I asked you this earlier, the decimal is here. We got to move it back 2. So this becomes 3.23 times 10 squared. Bring the 10 to the 5th down. And then you add the exponents because the bases are the same.
Okay. What if the bases weren't the same?
Well, they will always be the same in these problems, but you would not be able to combine them
You're
if they
right.
weren't. But that's a good question because that's upcoming because they will be slightly different
Okay.
problems coming up.
Okay, I got it down.
Okay, so we did 33. Do you want me to go back up and show you again, or did you get that down when we?
I got that down.
Okay, so we're up to 37. These are going to go really fast because you already know what to do. 37, you know to move the decimal to the right
Mhm.
8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fill those in with zeros. And there's your final answer for that.
Okay.
So looks like we need to do 41. Is that right?
41, yes. That's the last one.
Okay. So this one's different because the numbers, well, it's 10 to the 0. So that means you're not moving it. No movement.
Okay, so you just leave it as 5.23.
5.23. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we should move on to, is it 45 now?
We have 45 through 54 all.
All of them, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Lots of practice.
Yes.
All right. I'm just grabbing a snip here of 45. Okay. So the analogy I'm going to make is to, if I asked you to multiply 3 times 4 times 5 times 6, is this the same as multiplying 3 times 4 and then 4 times 6?
Yes.
So we want to do the same thing here. We want to take 1.3 times 2 and multiply those together. And then the 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 5th and multiply those together.
Okay.
So that would be 2.6 times 10 to what power?
To the 9th.
Yes. And is this in scientific notation? Is this number between 1 and 10?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got it. This is our final answer. Now my guess is for few others we'll have to manipulate it, but this one's good.
Okay.
So you said 40, we got to do them all, so 46.
Yes.
Okay. So just like the previous problem, you're going to take the 3 and multiply it by the 2.2. Which is 6.6. Then you're going to take the 10 to the 8th and multiply it by the 10 to the 3rd. Add the exponents.
That would be 10 11th.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next one here, 47. Snip this in. This is the first one that's a little bit different. Are you allowed to use a calculator in this or not?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So like I don't know what 7.9 times 2.3 is, so I've got to certainly grab one.
I have one right here. Let me see. That would be 18.17.
Good. And
So
then
yeah, we have it. Okay.
what's the exponent here? So always good to check me. I've already made a huge mistake tonight, so just please double check. 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 6th, what does that become?
10 11th.
Yeah. Now, is this in scientific notation? Is this number between 1 and 10?
No, it is not.
It's not. So we got to manipulate it. Okay. Which way do we move the decimal? Left or right?
To the right. I mean left.
Left. Yeah. So it becomes 1.817 times 10 to the 1, positive 1, times 10 to the 11. And you're almost there. You have to combine the exponents. So this becomes 1.817 times 10 to the 12.
Okay. Where'd you get the 10 1 from?
So remember we moved the decimal over?
Uh-huh.
So the 10 to the 11th I just brought down. This
Yeah.
is right here. When you move the decimal left, you have to put a 1 there for 10 to the 1.
What if you move it the decimal 3 times? Would you put 10 3?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like your questions. Keep those coming because that's the core of this.
Okay.
Give me just a moment here. Just need 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So we're up to
You're right.
48. Yeah, keep those questions coming. These are good things to ask in class too.
Yeah.
If you're not already doing that. So 6.1 times 3.9.
I got 23.79.
And then it's 10 to the 8th, 10 to the 5th. So that's 10 to the 13th. Now we're just focusing on this number right here. Okay.
Yes.
So when you move the decimal left, it becomes 10 to what power?
10 to 1.
10 to 1. And notice that 10 to the 13th is just coming down. Like it's just a separate thing.
Yeah.
So now you combine the two 10 powers. So it's 2.379 times 10 to the 14th.
Okay.
Why don't you
That's
try
good.
49 on your own?
Yeah.
It's really similar to what we've been doing. Ask me some questions if you got any, but give that a try, please.
Okay, so I got 5.005 times 10 to the 8th power.
And that is correct.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's do number 50 together here. Grab the snip of this. Wow, that's really bad. Okay. All right, number 50. Okay, so the again, no difference. You gotta multiply the two numbers together. That's always the same here. 8.4 times 4.8. That's 40.32. This time when you add the exponents, though, it becomes negative 13 plus 9,
Uh-huh.
which is -4.
Okay.
Okay, but we're not done. We still have to manipulate this number on the left here.
Yes.
But sometimes you do get negative numbers as a result. Okay, so that becomes 4.032 times 10 to the 1. And then you bring this one down, 10 to the -4. So 4.032 times 10 to the -3.
Okay. And would that be your final answer?
That's your final answer. That's in scientific notation. The base is
Okay.
between 1 and 10, so you're in really good shape.
And it would be fine if the exponent was negative?
Yes, it can be a positive or a negative exponent.
Okay.
So do you want to try 51 on your own?
Sure.
Let me know what you come up with on that one.
Okay. And that would be 7.2 times 10 to the negative power, -6 power,
7.2 times 10 to what power?
-6.
Yes, very good. Okay, why don't you try the last one, 52?
Okay.
Any questions on this one?
No, I just got the answer.
Okay, what do you
It
got for an
would
answer?
be 1.944 times 10 to the -18.
Perfect. Okay, so on to, what's the next one? 53. What are we going up to on this?
53 and 54 are our last two.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
We should do a few more of these division ones.
Okay.
Okay, 53. Let's clear the screen here. So it's really two problems in one. It's really 8.6 divided by 2, which ends up being 4.3. And then it's 10 to the 15th over 10 to the 6th. So if you recall, when the bases are the same and you're subtracting, I'm sorry, when the bases are the same and you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. So this becomes 10 to the 15 minus 6 power, like this.
Okay, sorry, I missed what you did to the 8.6 and 2.
You just dividing, just straight divide them.
Okay.
8.6 divided by 2, which is 4.3. So it's kind of like the last ones. You're going to do something with the two numbers, and then you do something with the two powers. So this becomes 4.3 times 10 to the 9. And from here, you have to decide, well, is it in scientific notation? Is the base between 1 and 10?
It is.
It is. So we're done.
Okay.
Okay, so 54 here. Look at next. It's really similar. Really similar. It's really two problems in one. You first look at the numbers and you divide. So if you got a calculator, go ahead and calculate that for me, please.
That would be 3.2.
3.2 times 10 to what power? What is the power that goes here?
That would be 10.
Yes, yes. 10 to the 10.
Okay.
Okay, now do you know what your upcoming assignment will be? Like do you know if you're going to get assigned more of these, like 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60?
We actually have all week off next week, so we actually don't have any assignments coming up that I know of.
Okay. Well, let's is that for rodeo?
For rodeo, yes, and also
Yes.
parent-teacher conferences.
So I think you should have to go to the rodeo if you're going to get off for it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay. I might incentivize people to actually go, but okay. I mean, we have some time here. Should we do a few more of these? Like, I think it'd be good to do 55, 56, all the way up through 60. Is there some other
Sure,
stuff?
we can do those.
Okay. All right, 55 here. Okay. So this first one here, 2.193 divided by 4.3, like, I don't know what that is. I'd have to go to the calculator and figure that out. So it's still the same steps though. If you got a calculator handy, please divide those and tell me what you come up with.
I got 0.51.
0.51 times 10 to what power? What's the power here on the right?
Um, 12.
Good. Now, is the base between 1 and 10?
No.
So we have to move the base to the right.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move this to the right. 5.1 times 10 to what power when we move it right?
To -1.
-1. Yeah, good.
And that would be 5.1 times 10 to the 11th.
Yes. So it's really no different than what we've been doing. You may have to make that additional step. So let's try 56. So again, you're gonna divide the first numbers. Which means you got to go to the calculator and figure out what this is. They're not obvious. Some students have to do these by hand, but they wish they had a calculator.
So then you get 0.27 times 10, 14.
Right. And the base is not between 1 and 10, so we have to manipulate the base.
Mhm.
So this becomes 2.7 times 10 to the minus 1 times 10 to the 14. So it's 2.7 times 10 to the 13.
Okay.
So why don't you try 57 on your own? Let me know what you come up with.
So I got 3.4 times 10 to the 16.
Yes. Might as well just keep going. I'll work these out as well and double check them for you if you want to keep going to 58.
And you would get 6.2 times 10 to the 44th power.
That's correct. All right, so here's 59. We're going to do this one by hand together. This is the kind of problem you might see on a test without a calculator. You're supposed to recognize that this is 1/2, 0.5.
Okay.
And then times 10 minus 12 minus a minus 5, right? You have to subtract the exponent. Even if it's already negative, you subtract the negative, right? So that becomes 10 to the minus 7 power. But
Okay.
this is not in scientific notation, right? This is just not quite there. So we got to move that decimal to the right. 5 times 10 to the minus 1 times 10 to the minus 7. Add the exponents. 5 times 10 to the minus 8.
Okay.
Like in my experience with your school in the past is that they actually have you do these without a calculator. That's why I keep asking. Maybe you're in just a different class than I'm thinking of, but nevertheless. So So last one here, or at least for this grouping, why don't you give this a try and
Okay.
see what you come up with.
So I got 1.1 times 10 to the negative 15.
Yes. I would say you really understand this.
Yeah, it seems pretty easy now that I go through it. Yeah.
Okay, so do you know if you got a quiz upcoming after you come back from rodeo? What's kind of that looking like?
Well, after rodeo, we turn in this assignment.
Okay,
That's all I know of. She
that's
hasn't
all you know.
talked
All right.
about any quizzes or tests yet.
Okay. We've got a little time left. Any ideas for what we should do to fill out the time?
Um,
Anything else you think you need help with?
Not really that I know of. Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, well, let's go just spend a couple
Maybe.
more minutes here on some exponent stuff. I know it's getting late, but
Yeah.
let's go x squared y cubed to the negative third power. Do you
Okay.
remember from the other day how you might attack a problem like this?
Yeah. So you distribute the negative 3 to y squared and y cubed.
Okay, so what would that become? X to what power?
Um, that would be x negative 6 and y negative 9.
Good. Now you can't leave it like this. So how are you going to rewrite your
Mhm.
answer?
You are going to make it 1 over x 6 and 1 over y 9.
Okay, so here's what I heard. This would be maybe okay. They want to see them kind of squeezed together there in the bottom.
All together? Okay.
Okay, something like that. Okay, so
Okay.
here's another one to look at. A to the minus 3, b squared, c to the 4th, d to the minus 5th, all to the minus 2 power.
Okay.
Give this one a try. See what you come up with.
So I got 6 times b negative 4 over c negative 8 and d10.
Is
But
this
we
your
can't
final?
leave it like that.
Yeah, go ahead and keep working it. Let me know what your final answer is.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is right, but A6 and D10 over
So
C8
so
B4.
the D10 stays in the bottom, but the C and the B switch spots because they're negatives.
Okay,
So it
that's what I
becomes
was thinking.
B4, C8 like that.
Okay.
Let's try one more here. Let's go x to the -2, y cubed z to the -4, all to the -1 power. So just give me the final answer. No intermediate steps, just the final answer on this one.
Okay, so would that be x squared and y3 over z4?
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and stop here. Unless you really